Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Just yesterday, Putin took part in the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. The main topic of the forum was Far East 2030, let's join forces, creating opportunities. I suspect that the choice of topic was due to the fact that there are no more countries to unite with because of recent events like war and terrorism. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's talk about Putin's recent statements. The Russian president says that he believes Ukraine is ruled by foreigners. He also said that he can't understand why the Ukrainian government continues to fight or how they hope to defeat the Kremlin's forces.
Мне иногда складывается впечатление, что те, кто руководят Украиной, как будто они вообще инопланетяне какие-то, либо иностранцы. Ну, собственно говоря, не думают просто. Нет, я серьезно говорю, вы понимаете, такие потери колоссальные. Что они дальше будут делать, я даже не понимаю. Нужно сейчас опять понижать призывной возраст, чтобы детей набирать, как в Германии фашисты, Гитлер-Югенд создавать. Но это не решит проблему.
Тогда тотальная мобилизация повальная.
Такая там тотальная проходит. Следующий шаг — это студентов призывать сейчас и так далее.
According to Putin, the mobilization of Ukrainian men was a failure. I wonder, is that what the soldier in Kursk said to him? But Vladimir Putin didn't just talk about Ukraine. He appeared to suggest that he supports the candidacy of US Vice President Kamala Harris in the upcoming presidential election. Why? Well, because her laugh means that everything is good with her, and if everything is good with her, she wouldn't possibly put sanctions on Russia.
Ну, я же говорил, у нас, значит, фаворитом, если можно так сказать, был действующий президент, господин Байден. Вот его сняли с гонки, но он рекомендовал всем своим, значит, сторонникам поддержать госпожу Харрис. Вот и мы тоже так сделаем, будем ее поддерживать. Это, во-первых, а во-вторых...
Раз завещали, значит, надо, да?
Вот. А во-вторых, она так выразительно и заразительно смеется, что это говорит о том, что у нее все хорошо. А если у нее все хорошо, то значит, вот Трамп, он же ввел столько количества всяких ограничений и санкций в отношении России, сколько для него ни один президент раньше не вводил. А если у госпожи Харрис все хорошо, то, может быть, она воздержится от таких действий подобного рода.
Или отменит их.
В конечном итоге выбор за американским народом, и мы с уважением будем относиться к этому выбору.
Following Putin's remarks, the White House called on the Russian president to stop meddling in the US election. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby added that Putin shouldn't favor anyone. Putin, being the conniving individual he is, never talks about things without context or reason. According to US National Intelligence Director Avril Gaines, Russia remains the most active foreign threat to our election, using its state media and online influencers to undermine confidence in democratic institutions and US support for Ukraine. It's an old sow division and cause chaos playbook that is also familiar to Russia. This latest stunt was just so absurd that even Trump had trouble taking it seriously, saying, quote, "I don't know if I'm insulted or he did me a favor." It seems that Russian propagandists are preparing Russians to bear responsibility for the war in Ukraine. According to the infamous Vladimir Solovyov, Russians love Putin because he is a man of the people. Here's a quote by him. The Russian president manifests the will of the Russian people, the laws of development of Russian society. See for yourselves.
Сейчас у них же вообще пошла такая тема, что главное вот дождаться, когда Путин уйдет, и тогда они не понимают, что Путин потому так и популярен в России. Поэтому так за последние 2 года и общество изменилось. Потому что он абсолютно народен. И сейчас целая плеяда политических деятелей, которые продолжат вот этот поступательный шаг России на многие десятилетия вперед. Они никак не могут понять. Это не личная воля президента Российской Федерации. А президент Российской Федерации проявляет волю русского народа. Законы развития русского общества политического, там, не знаю, класса, если можно сказать. Дмитрий понимает этих терминов гораздо лучше, чем я. То есть в этом есть предназначение.
So no, Putin's not invading Ukraine for his ambitions. He's carrying out the people's will, you see. All the war crimes, the needless suffering, the economic shambles it finds itself in, years-long war, forced conscription, human rights violations, just carrying out the people's will, all manifested in the shape of a Russian dictator. Recently, editor-in-chief of RT, Margarita Simonyan, released the film Beslan 2004-2024 for the 20th anniversary of the tragedy. Just a bit of background, the Beslan tragedy happened when Chechen militants stormed a school in the Russian city of Beslan on September 1st, 2004. The assault began a 3-day hostage crisis involving more than 1,100 people. The death toll included 184 children.
10-летние мальчики-близнецы, Сослан и Аслан. 94-й год, так мая. Вот еще один 2-летний, 2002 год, 2-летний малыш. 4-летняя девочка, 2000 год, Рада.
So, Margarita Simonyan is crying because of a terrorist attack in Beslan, while she herself supports Russian terrorist attacks on Ukraine. Don't just see the irony in that? In the beginning of this July, the Russians struck the National Specialized Children's Hospitals, Okhmatyat, in Kyiv. Russia continues to attack Ukrainian civil infrastructure to this day. After all the things Russia has done to the Ukrainian people for almost 3 years, do you think the irony is somehow lost on the Russian propagandists? On the Ukrainian-Belarusian border, the Belarusian military continues to be active. Recently, the Belarusian Defense Ministry published photos showing that their military equipment, in particular armored personnel carriers and jet launchers, are equipped with additional protection elements known as grills. The photos showed the BM-21 Grad rocket launcher system with protective screens made of Rabitsa mesh. In addition, the BTR-80 is covered in additional protection over the entire surface, from the sides to the roof. The Belarusian army has taken similar measures before. Back in December 2023, a similar barbecue were also installed on the T-72B. Although certain forces of the Belarusian army are concentrated near the borders, their numbers does not exceed several battalion tactical groups. Along with regular troops, according to Ukrainian intelligence, there were also mercenaries of the Wagner private military company in this region. Despite all these military demonstrations, Lukashenko realized that the direct participation of Belarus in the war with Ukraine will inevitably lead to the intervention of other states on the side of Ukraine. And although Lukashenko has recently started to talk about his last days, maybe he will have to choose whether he wants to leave office as a laughingstock or a criminal who destroyed his own country and burnt it to the ground hand in hand with his friend Putin in the fires of war. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.